Hey guys, I'm back. So hopefully you guys can see my screen and everything is okay right now. I'm not sure what's going on with this software today. But as I was saying before, today's session is an interactive session. So if you guys have specific questions that you would like me to answer, please use the chat function located on the right-hand side of your screen, and I will go over those questions that you have. Now, if I don't see any questions during today's session, I'll just go over some of the things that I believe you guys should be aware of, different functionalities that the CRM system has. Now, if you are interested in being part of the beta testing for the new CRM system, just let me know in the chat and I will make sure that you are on the list for the very next session. Today's CRM part 2 is it's still for the current CRM system that we're using. It's just some extra tips and tricks that I think you guys should be made aware of. Now, as you can see, I'm already logged into my fake CRM system. Now, anything that I went over in the basics, I'm really not going to go over unless somebody specifically asks for me to go over the basic stuff. But I did want to give you some, again, like I said, some additional things that I don't go over because quite frankly, during those sessions, I don't have time to go over it. Now, in the first session, I do go over basically some things with the home page. I don't go over more than just really following up with the leads that you have. But I do want to show you the system does keep track of any duplicates that you have. So if you actually click show duplicates on the left-hand side, the next thing that you want to do is where it says last 30 days, you do want to click on that and switch that to all leads. It will find all of the duplicate leads that you have in the system. Now, keep in mind the duplicate leads are found via the telephone number that the person has entered in. Now, the system will notify you when there is a duplicate. For those of you who've never experienced it, when you go into a lead, let me see if I can find one that will tell me. I've deleted them, so that's why it's not showing up the way I need it to. Usually, it'll show up over here letting you know it is a duplicate. Because I've gone ahead and gone in and made adjustments to it, that's why it's not going to show up right now. You also have the ability to find your deleted leads. So to some people's frustration, they may have realized that if they delete somebody, that the lead is still technically there. Now, when you highlight somebody and you click on delete, or you go into that lead's profile and you click on delete from here, all it does is hide that lead. So the lead doesn't actually go away. This is done as a safety precaution because we have had clients who delete somebody by accident, and then they want to bring that person back, and at that point we weren't able to do so. So we've taken that aspect out, so we just hide the leads. If you want to see the leads that have been hidden, just click where it says show deleted only. And any lead that you have deleted will show up on the screen. And again, always make sure you've switched this to all leads. Otherwise, by default, the system is only going to look for leads that you've received, that you've deleted in the last 30 days. Now, depending on how many leads you have, it may or may not take long. Now, you do have the ability to restore a lead. So if you have deleted a lead, and you need to restore the lead, so you want to bring it back to be active, you can actually just click on a restore button. Not sure why my system is taking so long. That's why. Let's try this one more time. It's giving me an error, so bear with me. Now, one of the other things that you'll notice when you do delete a lead, it's not going to show you in the My Lead section. So when you delete a lead, they're just going to be hidden from the My Lead section. However, if you go into your live lead screen, all of the leads show up. So whether you've deleted somebody or not, it will show up here. So it is a good idea. Let's say if you're doing your follow-up calls, etc., you may want on the left-hand side where it says deleted and active, click active only, and it will show you only the leads that are currently active in your system. Now, a couple other questions that I do get asked all the time is about alerts that the system has. So how can I change the way that the system alerts me? That's actually done through settings, and if you go to manage alerts. Now, the first alert is, do I want to be alerted by SMS? So do you want the system to send you a text message every single time there is a new lead? If you choose this option, keep in mind you will receive the alert via email as well. There's no way to turn the alert via email off. You only have the option of also receiving a text message from the system. Now, the next one is about tasks. So if you are using our task system and you would like to receive reminders about tasks that you have created, you want to make sure that this box is selected to yes. Furthermore, it's going to ask you which task do you want to be reminded about. Now, when you enter into the account on this page, nothing is going to be selected. So if you switch this to yes, it's only going to send you tasks if you actually select one of the task statuses. So generally you want to make sure you're only selecting not started and in progress. If you selected closed or completed, if you mark something as completed, that means you're also going to be alerted to that task, which you definitely don't want. So just do not started and in progress, and then make sure you click on save settings at the bottom. Alert when a lead becomes active. This is set to yes. So do I want to be alerted whenever a lead opens up an email and looks at listings? If you select this to yes, it is going to show you every single time a lead opens up an email and looks at listings. If you don't want to be alerted to the leads being active, you want to switch this to no. If you want to receive alerts only on specific leads, what you're going to do is you're going to click on only select leads. The next thing that you're going to have to do is on your actual lead, what you're going to do is you're going to go into that lead's profile, and under lead tags, you're going to give them a tag that says alert when active. So therefore, only the leads where it says alert when active will you be notified. That's a good idea to do if you have hot leads. So every time you have a hot lead, set them up to be alerted when they're active, and then that will give you good information and know when you should be calling that lead. So it will definitely help you with your follow-up systems. Now, you do have the ability to be alerted when a Street Match lead unsubscribes. Default is no, but please go ahead if you want to be aware of that. Go ahead and switch that to yes. And then again, when you're done, please click on Save Settings. You'll notice that your settings have been saved because alerts at the top will show up in red. Now, some other things that agents have asked us about is auto responders. You can most definitely set up autoresponders from your system. I don't generally suggest this just for the simple fact that As soon as somebody does register from the system, they're automatically receiving an email letting them know that they registered for the site. It lets them know what their username and password is, and it also has a link for them to validate their account. Because that email goes out right away, I don't believe it's a good idea to set up an additional autoresponder. That means they're going to receive 2 emails from you right away as soon as they register. That to me seems a little bit much. But if you do want to set up an autoresponder, what you're going to do is go to settings. Sorry, you're going to go to emails and you're going to go to autoresponders. From there, you're going to, at your screen is going to be completely blank. But to create an autoresponder, you're going to click on new autoresponder. Where it says lead type, you're going to go ahead and select the type of lead that when the person comes in, they'll be given this lead type automatically. So for example, if it's somebody who's coming from the Homeworth page, I know their lead type comes in as home seller. Now you're going to select the source. If it's a Homeworth lead, their lead type or the lead source comes in as Homeworth. And then you would go ahead and select the email that you want to go ahead and send to that person, and then you'll click on save. Now, once you create the autoresponder, note that the autoresponder is automatically paused. So if you want to have this as an active autoresponder, please make sure you click on activate. With autoresponders, keep in mind you do not have the ability to delete an autoresponder. You only have the ability to edit one, or you can pause it. And obviously, if it's paused, means it's not working. Now, some other things that I do get asked quite frequently, as you can see from my system, I do have quite a bit of lead types and lead statuses in my drop-down menu. You guys actually have the ability to update this as you wish by going into settings and clicking on drop-down menu. When you go into the drop-down menu, it will give you all of the default system items, but you can go ahead and add in as many options as you would like. So what if, let's say I want the lead status as, put the lead status as whatever you want. I'm going to put signed contract, and I click on add new, and then you'll see that new lead status is there. You do have the ability to edit your lead status, and you do have the ability to delete one. I do suggest that use whatever information or statuses, etc., that you currently use. Make sure that each name that you give it is clear, that it's concise, and you know exactly what it means. With that being said, as you speak to leads, you have to make sure that you're going through and actually changing the statuses. Now, how do you change the status? For when you're in that leads profile, you want to click on edit, and you'll see the lead status is here. So maybe I've spoken to this fake lead Theo, so make sure I switch it to contacted. Maybe I have qualified Leo, meaning that he's a good lead, he's going to actually buy. Maybe qualify means for you that they've spoken with a mortgage lender. Wherever they kind of are in that process, you want to go ahead and add that person in. Same thing goes with the lead type. As you know, most of the leads come in with the lead type of other if they've looked at listings. If you know for sure that they're a buyer, go ahead and choose home buyer. If it's a home buyer, home seller, make sure you create a lead type that's home seller, home buyer. If you're going to be using this as your database management system, not just for prospects that are coming in. So even after the closing, you'll definitely want to add stuff in like past client, whether it was a referral, if the person is just part of your network, your circle of influence. That's really up to you, depending on how you guys have been trained in to keep track of the database. Add in as much information as you can regarding these leads. So if you know where they work, you know what their position is, you know what their date of birth is, their wedding anniversary, where they live, add as much information as possible. Now, the description section is here. This is a permanent note. So usually I will just say, I'm going to say wife of 5 years, has 2 kids and 1 dog. and I'm going to click on save. That's going to be a permanent note. So now as soon as I log into that leads profile, that note is sitting right here, right away, easy for me to see. If you add it into the actual notes section, you will have to scroll up and down, maybe load all notes to kind of see all of that information. So if you know it's something that's a permanent note that you want to be there, please make sure you add it in the description section in addition to the note section. Now, what are some other ways that you can go ahead and organize your leads? To be quite honest, if you have an intention of using our new CRM system, what I would advise you to do before you get access to the new CRM system is to provide your leads with tags. So you'll notice I have lead tags over here. These lead tags are going to filter into the new system. So I do highly, highly recommend that you give each of your leads a specific tag. If you don't have any tags in the system, go ahead and click on Add New Tag, enter in the name of that tag. So I'm going to just put it as SOI, which is my sphere of influence. I'm going to click on Add. Once I do that, I can scroll down. I can see all of my different tags that I have available in the system. All you want to do is just check it off and it will add that tag to that person. Again, that will be transferred into the new CRM system. With the new CRM system, you do want to make sure that you have tags there because it will allow you to filter and sort through your leads quite efficiently. Now I am going to go into the partial lead screen. Obviously this month I don't have any, so I'm just going to go to all leads. Now your partial leads, I did go over very briefly with you guys during the CRM part 1. I do explain to you that the partial leads come from your landing pages, whether that be the home worth page, the street match, the condo worth page. With that being said, if you have these leads in the system, you can't just leave them in here like this and just kind of call them up. Now, the majority of our clientele does like to do cold calling or door knocking. And in that case, you'll definitely need to make sure that you have this done in another program. So maybe like Excel. So you do have the ability to export all of your leads to a CSV file. So all you have to do, if you want to select all of them, just click here and highlight all. Now double check, notice if there's any duplicates. So for example, I can see that these are duplicates, so I don't want them. Now all you do at that point is click on export all to CSV file, and it's going to automatically create a CSV file for you with all of that leads information. You also have the ability, let's say I've called this person on 10 Copeland Road. So maybe I've called somebody on 10 Copeland Road and I now have their name. And how did I get their phone number? You would go ahead on 411 and get their phone number. For those of you who don't know how to do that, I will show you that really quickly. So I go to Canada 411. You're going to click here where it says more search options and do reverse address. From here, I'm just going to do 10 Copeland. You're going to type in the name of the city and select Ontario from that drop-down menu. Once you click on search, it's going to give you all of the addresses. Now, if the address that you want is not the very first one, it means that a phone number, a public phone number does not exist for that person. So let's say I was doing 9 Copeland instead of 10. So let's say this is the phone number and I know the person's name is John D'Souza. So I'm going to go ahead and take that person's phone number. I'm going to go into Copeland. And I now, since I've spoken to John, I want to go ahead and create an actual lead for that person. So instead of having to retype the address in fully, I'm just going to click under actions. I'm going to click on create full lead. And it's now brought me to this screen. So now I can type in the person's information. I now have their phone number, lead status. I'm going to switch that to contacted because I've spoken to them, and I'm going to put them as a home seller, and then I'm going to click on add lead and finish. You'll now see that 10 Copeland has been removed. And if I go into my lead section, so my home page, you will see that John D'Souza is there. Now, a lot of people do ask me, well, where do I see the information for people who have registered maybe for Homeworth or Street Match? If you want to know where that information is, you need to go into the lead detail section and it will have it here automatically. That's if they sign up for Homeworth. In this case, I manually assigned this person myself. So I'm going to go ahead in the listing info section and update it myself. So I know these homes are detaches, so I'm going to type in detached, address, I'm going to put 9 Copeland, city, I'll type in Brampton, parking type, I'm going to say whatever you want, say private, sell in, I'm going to say 3 to 6 months. Now you can add in as much information as you can. And definitely same thing, if you know that the person is buying, go ahead and put all of that information in here. So generally you guys put it in the notes section, but please feel free to enter it into here as well. There's also the details tab. This is where you can also put in that person's current address. If you know wedding anniversary, home anniversaries, etc., you can go ahead and utilize that as well. Now in my system, I have the FORD tab. This gives me the ability to add in some more information. So maybe I have family members' names, maybe I have more information about their occupation, maybe they happen to let me know that they love to play basketball and they love to fish. You want to definitely add in as much information as possible in regarding the leads. This will help you to create rapport. This will also help you when you're doing follow-up calls to really go ahead and create that connection that you want in the system. If you want to have this FORD tab, what you want to do is you're going to go to settings and you're going to go to lead tabs. From there, you're going to see show FORD tab. It is obviously by default disabled, so make sure you switch that to yes. And then show properties tab, you also have the ability of using. So you'll notice in my system as well, there's a tab after activity tab. This is my properties tab. I actually love this tab because if you deal with people who have done repeat business with you, maybe they're investors, you definitely want to make sure that you have a properties tab open for them. Maybe you have sold their home and they ended up purchasing with a builder. You want to make sure that you have the sold property there, and you definitely want to make sure you're updating their current home address. Now, in our system, you do not have the ability to go ahead and create shipping labels, mailing labels, etc. You do have the ability to export your leads yourself, though, and that's done by going to settings and going to export. From here, you can export or select or target your leads according to their lead types. So let's say I just want to grab my home sellers and my home seller home buyers. Maybe I also want to do home seller and referral. And I also want to do past client. You can select the agent. So if you want just one agent, just select their name. If you want everybody who's a user in your account, just select all of the agents. You have the ability to also go through and target further according to that person's status, according to their tags as well. When you're done, go ahead and click on filter, and your leads will show up in this box. So it's letting me know right now that there's a total of 36 leads that actually go ahead with the criteria that I've set up. Next thing that you're going to do is you're just going to highlight these leads that are here. You can use your mouse and highlight. Alternatively, you can right click and do select all. And then you're going to go ahead and right click and copy, and then you'll just paste that into an Excel spreadsheet. Now, it will give you an address. It'll give you their name, their phone number, and their email. So if you're doing your own printing labels, all you need is their name. You can actually go ahead and delete the email address and the phone number, and just keep the name and the address and to create your labels from. Now, with exporting, the next thing that comes up is importing. You do not have the ability to import your leads yourself. If you want to import your leads, you must import your leads using the support staff. So all you have to do is send support your CSV file, and they will import those leads for you. Depending on what time of day you do it, they're should have it done within the hour. So it's not going to be something that will take them very, very long to do. Now, as I've said in every single CRM Part 2 that I do, you do have access to your own billing. So for those of you who are a little bit newer, please know you have Agent Locator does not send you out invoices. So if you would like to have access to your invoices, especially since it's tax season, make sure you go into billing and you can go ahead and save or print your invoices directly from the system. Now, if you are part of Google PPC, so you're doing a Google AdWords account with us, campaign with us, you will need to speak to Sunny directly in order to get your invoicing for Google. The invoices for Google are not located in this specific system. Well, thank you for attending today's CRM Part 2. Now, if at any point in time you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out to support@agentlocator.ca. If you want to be part of the new CRM system beta testing, please do not hesitate to let me know. Email support and they'll forward it over to me. Now, thank you for attending. And if you guys have any questions, I will leave the chat box open for a couple of minutes.